So, I see Chris McCord, you're online. Good evening. Good evening, Chris. There.
Good evening. Sorry, I'm driving home from the coast, so I've been
Oh,
listening
okay.
in.
Okay. Well, I saw you online and I just wanted to see if you wanted to add anything to this. I know we've been talking, you and I. So you want to go
Yeah,
ahead and say something?
I think so. My name's Chris McCord. I'm with the Department of Commerce. Used to work with Andy Cervantes at Department of Health and Drinking Water, and I have been working with the mayor, with Andy, with Department of Ecology and others, as there have been, some concerns about water and the need for bottled water. And so I was approached back in, I think it was August initially, to try and track down opportunities to bring water if needed to the community. And I believe we've got some more water coming if needed. We'll figure out what the conditions are there before we place the order. But there's a nonprofit in Colorado who actually provides water to communities in situations like this, if needed. And they're prepared to send a semi-load of water out in early December. They had some. They actually work with breweries that can water. So the name of the nonprofit is Canned Aid, and they prefer to put cans into the environment versus plastic bottles. And so they had a little malfunction at the brewery where they get the water canned with their equipment, and they were several weeks behind. And so we'd anticipated to get water brought to the community prior to the Thanksgiving holiday, but it looks like it'll be early December before we can get more. And again, if that's if it's determined to be needed. That's about all I've got.
I think we're pretty good. We'll go ahead and we'll take the last of the water. But other than that, verification tonight that I think we're good on water with this last vote. So we will no longer be needing water for our residents. Unfortunately, it has not been distributed evenly to a lot of the residents here. I know we've gotten a lot of phone calls. I know some council members have gotten phone calls at the water that they did not get water. I know we have council candidates that also reached out to me because they were notified that they were not given any water at this last water distribution. So when we get this last water distribution from you, Chris, we'll make sure that the city goes out from house to house and distributes this water evenly to everybody who pays water. Unfortunately, it's been given to the same families, and people have been turned away. And I think that with this last water that you give, will go. This should be the fine line for the citizens. And I want to thank you for that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for chiming in. I appreciate it. So, comments? You want to stand up to the podium? You have 2 minutes. Really?
All right, well, let's clarify a few things. If anybody at our water distribution events were ever denied, it's because they didn't have the proper information, which is basic, proof of residency within the city limits, with city wells, and ID. Other than that, nobody is denied at our water distribution. And for more clarification, we have brought to this area 4 different water distribution events totaling almost 60 pallets of water. Wow. That's over almost 3,000 big flats of water for residents. So according to people I've talked to, you've brought 5 pallets into talked to you about 5 pallets into the city. So, yeah, thank you. Just to clarify that. And I want to clarify something else. We were the ones who first started talking to Chris McCord about bringing water in from canned aid. The city, who you apparently don't think you all need water, you called them up and said, we need to get in on this too. So you don't think you need water, but you're tapping into this resource, which is fine, because whatever will bring water to the residents is great. However that's brought, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. One other point of clarification. The reason investigative water sampling is happening is because of a community listening session that AYA organized. This investigative research for water quality came about through that listening session, which you were invited to, which you would not attend. Last, we have another listening session, community update, provided to community residents tomorrow at 5:30. You all are invited, including the councilor-elects, the ones who have been newly elected to their seats. So again, you're in touch with community so that your community knows what's happening. I'm really disappointed because we've usually had a pretty full house here in previous meetings, and they're not here, so they have to be communicated with somehow about all of the information that was provided tonight. Information that was provided tonight. It'll happen tomorrow.
Thank you.
And so we're
Let her talk. My God.
Your
Time
is up. To provide community
Your
updates.
time is up. Time is up.
To provide community
Your
updates.
time is up.
As officials.
Your time is up.
Your time will be up.
She's only providing information for the residents, Rachel. My goodness.
But she'll let him talk for about 30 minutes.
Oh, I know.
We have classes on machismo, internalize machismo, if you'd like to take them.
I want to back her up on what's been going on as far as the water distribution. We've been doing it, and people aren't being denied. The lines are all the way to the end of the street over here, so they're all the way to the end of the street over here. So people are aware what they gotta bring, ID, a bill, and to get their water. There's nobody being denied. I don't know who these fakers are that are saying that they, got turned down and stuff. You know what? Come and talk to me and I'll let you know if you got turned down or not, because I haven't turned down anybody. Neither have these ladies here. They haven't turned down anybody. The people that are getting water delivered to their houses are senior citizens or people that ain't able to go to drive or show up in line and get their water. So we literally take it to their doorsteps and drop it off. And they are very thankful that we're doing that.
Yep.
And like I say, hey, you know what? We can put you on the list if you want. All you gotta do is just give us your name.
But why didn't she get water?
Who?
My mom. She didn't get water.
Is she on the list?
Oversight,
I didn't know
because
she was supposed to be on the list.
You gotta be on the list.
text me personally and I will make sure.
We've
it's on
told
that list.
people,
Yes.
if you can't drive, or if you're handicapped, or you're
If you know
elderly,
anybody,
give us your name, give us your address, we will deliver the water to you. So your mom, all she's gotta do is give us her name and her address, and we'll take her water. That's not a big deal. This is what we've been doing. So people that are saying that they're being denied, that's not true. I hate to say it, but that's not true. I think they're just trying to start something. And it's not fair to us, it's not fair to these ladies that have busted their butts off to get this thing going. And now that it's gone, everybody is thankful for it. I mean, I have people tell me, oh, thank you very much, I really, really appreciate it. Hey, no problem, here you go, here's your water. So let's not go with the gossip. Let's not believe everything you hear, because it's not true. There's a lot of us here that can verify that nobody's being denied.
Ruben, I think that's at the last meeting, you came up and you started listening to rumors as well, and you sat over there and, well, I heard that you have a new officer, so you're new officer. So you yourself have listened to rumors. So, and we made clarification and the chief did. He clarified it the last meeting because you came at me and said, well, I heard. Well, there you go. You hear things. We're getting text messages. They're calling City Hall. So I'm just relaying what I've heard, Ruben. Okay? So this is coming to the City Hall. So that's the reason I'm
This is
bringing
the
it.
reason I come here,
You're getting
Rachel.
information
This is the
from
reason I come here,
us.
Rachel, so I can ask the questions, you can give me answers. So, when you drive your vehicle, there's a mirror like this. Don't look in it, don't look in the past, look towards the future,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
So don't go by hearsay all the time.
Well, that's exactly what
No,
we did at the
no,
last
no,
meeting.
hold up.
It's
Right
literally
now what you're doing, you're being combative. You're throwing this in my face because of the way, the things I've said in the
Well,
past.
you're just
No,
telling
I'm not
me the
saying
same
it.
right now.
I'm not accusing you. I'm not accusing you. All I'm saying is that there's
Okay.
people that are saying that they're being turned down and we're not turning nobody down.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not pointing this towards you.
Yes, Chris? Thank you, Ruben.
Yeah, I wanna step in for a second, and Maria, I didn't realize you were in the room, I'm looking at my phone, so I apologize. And I have been approached by the Environmental Justice Council and AEA, and have reached out and been working with everyone else. And I just want to encourage you all, right? Water is so important, you've already heard tonight that the situation with the new well, and this will divide a community. And the one thing that I am trying to do is take the things that the best lessons learned from both distribution efforts, both the cities and from the food bank, and take what's worked well, what hasn't worked well, and work with your emergency management. At the county level, I believe you guys pay in to get service from the emergency management staff. And what I'd like to do is throw a plan together that the community could both, and I say community holistically, could buy into, accept, so there isn't a division. There's no, I get that there is a division, but we've all got to come, and this is the big we, have all got to come together on this one to do what's best for your community. And so I just want to encourage me a little bit of time to try and work with emergency management. They've got the best practices. They know, they have a plan there specific for Yakima County about how to distribute resources. And I want to take what AIA has learned, what the city has learned, the food bank distribution, and we'll come up with the best plan possible for your community. I'm empathetic to everybody's situation there, but I want to deal with the facts. The facts are that we need to be able to provide water to those that are in need of assistance. And so that's, my obligation to you is to assist you in doing that. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Chris. You're gonna gotta sit down and talk to me and you. You come up with the plan.
Yeah, Chris is a wonderful person.
Okay, so I'm reading your thing up here. It says, please stand here, state your name and address. So my name is Teodora and I live out on Decker Road in Outlook. So do not live in this area. And it also says comment is limited to 5 minutes.
We're doing two.
Okay, you may want to update this. So anyway, so basically I just wanted to remind people that we're having that meeting tomorrow. Everyone's welcome, especially those that are being affected by water. So please share this information. I have flyers if you need to take any with you. You have people you want to invite, please take them and invite them to come. The other thing I wanted to say is when I volunteer my time with AIA and we're standing out there in the cold along with other volunteers trying to get people through the line as fast as possible, I'm going down the line and I'm reminding people that they have to have this and this and this ready, right? Their ID and of course proof of physical address, they live in Mabton. Water bill, light bill, of course, is the most important because it lists the service address. Sometimes they don't have that for whatever reason. If they live in Mabton, they should, right? But, sometimes they have their internet bill that shows the service address. Sometimes they have their cable bill that lists the service address. As long as it has their name that matches the ID, whatever. The other thing I tell them is if they say, well, I don't have it, blah, 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 I give them an opportunity to call home and get a picture of it on their cell phone. We even take that. Sometimes we have people pulling over on the side next to the line while they get the document. but they do their best to get what we need, okay? A lot of people think that the water is coming from the city of Mabton, but of course we explain to them, no, it's not the city of Mabton that's providing this water. And I do remind them also, if they're senior citizens, I do tell them, we do have an opportunity to have water delivered to you, okay? So if you want that information, let us know, so that way you can put on that list. And that's all I wanted to share.
I have a question. I don't know if I'm wrong. How much water is for each person?
It depends on the family size.
Let's say there was only 2 people, how much water? is
They usually get 2 packages, a package, not 2
I went
bottles.
to see 3 families, and one family got a package of 10, and I saw them there.
Okay,
How
so,
did she get them?
so that's a good
There's probably
question.
multiple families living in that home.
It's just her.
Okay,
Well,
so,
they're finding a way, they're finding a loophole
That's why I
somewhere.
asked.
Yeah.
Give me the name.
So we're
Yeah.
not wanting to do that because we want to distribute fairly to everybody who deserves to have water. But stuff like that does happen, which is why we're trying to make sure that the process is, one, as fair as possible, but also that there aren't people coming in multiple times. We've had residents from Sunnyside, from Prosser trying to come in and with old IDs from Mapton.
exactly.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just been luck, like Sophia's been there and she's like, oh, no, that's where out in the country, they can't have water. So we have to have, some of you all there to help us distinguish who really should be getting the water.
And that's why we ask
Because
for
there's
physical
people, yeah,
proof.
there's people coming through trying all the time to get water, and we're trying to prevent that from happening. But yeah, you're right, stuff like that does happen. They probably sent in multiple people. We also have multiple lists from, thankfully with Adriana and Janet, who go with many different volunteers on their trucks loaded with water to deliver the water. And then we found that those people who had water delivered are coming through the line too. And so,
Oh, yeah.
there's all kinds of stuff happening that we're trying to prevent so that we have more water for more people.
So you're not scrapping the.
What we do is we keep track, we have a laptop, and we keep track of the families that are coming through. And so if they've already come through once, it's on the list already.
We're trying to refine this process.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go on to staff reports. You have anything? Chief? Okay. Council member report?
I have a question for you, the city attorney.
Are you there, Bill? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. I didn't hear you say my name. There's been questions about whether the city would reduce water bills, and the only ordinance that refers to that is Mabton Code 1304-465, which talks about rate reductions for qualified senior citizens and low-income disabled citizens. So that's the only legal authority that the city has over not charging people their usual water bill.
Yeah, that has been in place, before me, and I know that I did, when we did have a lot of citizens in the meeting at one time, we did announce it, I did let people discount for senior citizens. There's a form that has to be filled out, and they have to bring their application. Now, all that form has all the information. So that form that we go by has been in existence for a while. So I know we have been told that there is senior citizens that come in, but they do have families living with them, sons, daughters, granddaughters, grandsons. So those are the ones we do turn away because of the income. And there's more people in the household, so those are the ones that do get turned away.
I have a question for Chris. On this,
We're moving on. I'll give you his information, okay? You-
no, it's just real quick.
It's already 9 o'clock. We want to move on. We want to move on, please. So, That's what we have, Bill. That's what we do with the water, for the senior citizens and disability.
It's not the water, is it? I thought it was just garbage.
No, it's for water.
You don't
Yeah.
have, you don't have a policy for disability.
It's for the water bill, yes.
There you
And, yeah, it's on the application, it says disability.
Yeah, but you gotta, you yourself says that it's gotta be combined income between the two spouses.
Well, yeah,
Whether
it
you-
has to be
if you-
spouse, you
if-
can't have like people living in your household, like a daughter and a son. It has to be for those people only, and it states on that application.
Yeah, but you still got a combined income, you said.
Yes, but if they're elderly and they're getting
If one of the
Social
spouses
Security,
is considered disabled,
then they-
you still go with the combined income,
But they're,
which makes that person unqualified for the discount.
no, if they're elderly and one is disabled, and well, they're both elderly and one is disabled, they do qualify. So like, for instance, we have an applicant for say, the wife has a mother, or it's a husband and a wife and they're over age, 65. Then we ask for their verification. Well, then they go on and they put, we have a disabled son, and then we have the mom. Well, we need to say, okay, well, you have income for all these people. So they would not qualify because there's 4 people getting 4 checks in one household.
So if the two spouses and one spouse is still employed and the other spouse is disabled, how do they qualify?
We go by the disabled,
You go by the disabled what?
income, because we can't discriminate.
Okay, and so what's the discount? 5%? 10% of the
I don't know
bill?
what it's not very much. Is it 20?
So then why even offer it?
Well,
What kind of
because
discount is that?
it's been in effect even before me.
It doesn't
So
make no
we
sense,
just-
huh?
It's just to help the seniors. That was something that was in place. I don't know how long it's been in place.
So why don't you guys revise it and make it beneficial to the person that qualifies for this? Because a 5% discount on a
No,
water
it's not
bill,
5%. I think she said 20%.
even 20% is nothing.
Well,
Especially when you're paying $100.
well, that's
or
what the
$140
percentage
for your water
was
bill.
when I came on. We go by what the paperwork
So can it get
says.
revised? Can
Oh,
the
I'm
council
sure we-
members go over this and revise that policy?
We can, but I know we've been in trouble for the auditors already regarding water.
That's what he's here for. He's the lawyer. He's the one that should
Yeah.
know.
Exactly, but we go through the auditors, and when we get audited, they ask why there is adjustments.
Yeah, but that's what he's here for, so he can give you guys advice on what to do.
Exactly, but
You
he's
shouldn't
gonna
have to worry
tell
about
us,
the
but we're
audit.
still gonna get audited.
You shouldn't worry about the audit, because if he's the lawyer, he'll advise you in the right way on how to go upon this.
We've already been, the city's been in trouble with the auditors already. And I wanna say, it's been before the last
I know
meeting.
we have nothing there, Vicki.
Okay, can I? Yeah. Go ahead.
You're still paying $100.
I was gonna bring my phone and read what my mayor wrote about me, but I thought that was a little bit extreme. I can remember it almost word for word in her accusation, which I do not believe was legal, how she got this paperwork. That's my question to you. You put on your site that I had a wreck in the city, which is true. It was on a Sunday, which is true. It was my nephew that was repairing the glass, but that's no different than your cousin working in the city. He got that. He was licensed and bonded. He got it his own for himself. I did not do that. I came here to take the car home because it was Sunday. He was not allowed on city property, which I had mayor's permission to do. So I backed into another city vehicle. Couldn't report it to anybody that day because it was Sunday. Monday, I came in first thing, went to the city clerk, will not mention names who she was because I'm not supposed to. Had to fill out an affidavit to our insurance listing my license number, what happened, time and all that. I filled out the report, turned it into the city clerk, where it went from there. I offered to pay it out of my own insurance because I am fully covered, which would have covered it. It wasn't brought up at that time. It was brought to the city council at a later time, which our mayor seemed somehow to get into files that I don't think she had the right to do that because she was upset with me because I asked questions about budget to our treasurer. Because this is November. You didn't bring that budget to us for months. I didn't know what we were doing. So I talked to Larry. And
Who's
I
the
think
person
that,
in charge of the budget?
oh, Rich, come on, quit passing the buck. You're the person in charge of the dang city. So
But he's the one who works on the budget.
Would be right to pull out my file.
You know what? No, that file was already there.
But why did you publicize it on your?
Hey,
site?
taxpayer money,
Oh.
the vehicle is taxpayer money.
Awesome.
Taxpayer money.
The vehicle is taxpayer money.
Taxpayer money.
It's dirty.
So-
It's dirty.
We're gonna go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 9:03. Go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 9:03. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Why you throwing Rachel, why you throwing Larry under the bus?
I know, right? Which wants to pass the baton?
All the reins.